We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Canelo Alvarez is fighting William Scull. A fight nobody wants to see and definitely nobody asked for. Mexican legend Juan Manuel Marquez from the Romanza Gym just did a recent interview and he speaks on Canelo versus William Scull. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what the legend Marquez had to say about Canelo. Payday, you want payday? I know that. Fighting against William Scull. Let's dig in. In an interview with ES News, Marquez was asked a question. Tell me your opinion on Canelo versus William Scull now that it is official. Juan Manuel Marquez replies, quote, I don't know what's going to happen, but William Scull is a nobody. William Scull is a nobody. He's nobody in the sport of boxing. He's the IBF champion, but do you know William Scull? I don't know William Scull. End quote. Well played, Marquez. Well played. Now, for the record, Juan Manuel Marquez is one of my favorite fighters. He has a historic moment, obviously, in the fourth fight with Manny Pacquiao. I believe he's going to woo. Right? Legend, accurate, great counterpuncher, fought the best names, and he moved completely different than what we're seeing from Canelo Alvarez. And it's so funny because Boxing Ego will do a video and most people get it, but you still have the resistance, the usual suspect, who don't act like they understand. And they want to, in essence, try to prove it to me. It's so funny. They'll be in the comment section like, no, come on, man, Ego. Canelo versus William Scull. It's for the undisputed. I'm one person in a world with billions of people. You don't have to convince me. The fight is trash. I don't care. Again, I'm one person. That is my personal opinion. Most of the people that are diehard Cinnabons and Canelo Man fans, they've never even seen William Scull fight. They don't know more boxing than me. They don't watch more boxing than me. They're not more in tune than boxing. Some of them have never been to a fight, never stepped into a boxing gym, don't know any fighters, etc., etc. And they're trying to tell me how the game works and about William Scull, a guy that they can't vouch for real, because they don't even know who he is, right? William Scull, in his fight with the Shishkin or whatever dude's name was, got hurt. He was badly hurt, and he arguably lost the fight. And he became a champion. Some people even said it was a robbery. So now, yes, Canelo is fighting for undisputed because he did have it, but what they're leaving out is the actual devil in the details, that some people think he shouldn't even be a champion right now because of his last fight where he got the title, right? So they're conveniently leaving it out. And either they're leaving it out because it's embarrassing and they don't want to add in the true facts, or what is more likely, most of them don't know who William Scull is, which is what Boxing Ego and Juan Manuel Marquez, alongside with Clarissa Shields, who put out a tweet and says, who is William Scull? Who is that? Right? So multiple people in the profession, in the industry, whether you like it or not, I'm in the industry and you can't do nothing about it. Marquez, former fighter. Clarissa Shields, decorated current fighter. We're all asking the same questions. Who is William Scull for real? Like, why is this the guy? And then to boot, you're putting the fight in Saudi Arabia. Canelo has made his coin in America for the last several years, right? Age 19 to his current age in America. He left Mexico to primarily fight in America. They staged him on Mayweather cards because of his look and his ability to fight, and because they put him on Mayweather undercard, he blew up, right? He had the right combination, timing, everything worked, right? He could fight, red hair, unique look, and he was on Floyd Mayweather undercards. I'm gonna keep saying that. And, you know, it worked out for him. Now he's taking it, and he sees that his fans are willing to, or at least some of them, willing to support anything that he does. So now he doesn't really care. And the same fans that supported him, he's really choosing money and turning his back on those same fans. And they're still trying to, some of them are still trying to defend it, which I find pretty horrendous, but hilarious at the same time. You got guys who went to every Canelo fight. Like even that Canelo hater dude that be having them signs, he's going to all the fights. I mean, who knows if he goes to Saudi Arabia? I doubt it. You know what I mean? And the same thing with, you know, Canelo supporters. You got people who travel to his fight in Texas, travel when he was fighting multiple times in Las Vegas, and now you've just made it infinitely harder for them to follow your career and be in attendance live. And some people are like, who cares where it's at? Me, boxing ego, because where it's at determines some things. Like I remember being in Vegas and I talked to some people in the MGM that were pretty high up, right? And they told me when Floyd Mayweather would fight in Las Vegas, the whole city was up, meaning there was so much traffic. It was nothing like a Floyd Mayweather fight, they told me. And there was so much traffic. All the casinos did very well. They had like record-breaking weekends. The restaurants were packed. So the restaurants were up and doing good. Everything was healthy. Uber, Lyft, rideshare service, because people needed drunk, you know what I mean, drunk on the strip, need to get back to their hotel, call an Uber. So all of these things in industry was up. Ride shares were up. The airport was up. Bartending and, you know, bars were up. Obviously, people want to get some drink, etc., etc. Canelo is a face of boxing. He's a popular guy. And I'm sure when he goes to Vegas, it just makes a lot of sense. And if he would have fought Jake Paul, that fight would have been huge, whether you like it or not. It would have. And it would have generated a lot of money for Vegas. Now you have the Saudis who are coming into the fold, and they're like, yo, we want to build our kingdom, right? So we want to buy out these boxers, a lot of them which can't sell in America, so they're easy to turn and get them to go fight in Saudi because they're making the type of money that is more than their market value. But the trade-off is you take them out of their market and you do the bidding of, you know, Saudi Arabia for their own political gain or to change the landscape of the kingdom or whatnot. And a guy like Canelo, he would generate a crazy live gate, you know, very good, healthy live gate and money in Las Vegas. I'm an American, and now you're having somebody front the bill because they can and they have money. So that live gate that Canelo would do, let's say 10 million for an average fight, 7-10 million for an average view, is now not in Las Vegas. And who knows, they probably won't do a good crazy live gate in Saudi Arabia because it's just a different culture and it's a different setup. So yeah, there's multiple complexities. So Canelo fighting an undesired fight, that's one, like William Scull. Canelo fighting in Saudi Arabia where it doesn't really promote industry. Like I haven't seen no crazy, amazing crowds. Like even the UK, like when Joshua was at the height of it fighting Klitschko, They had good crowd and paying. These are all paying customers. But now if you have somebody who's just like picking up the tab and now these fighters don't have to work for it, I don't think this is favorable or good for the sport of boxing. And then you're fighting Canelo versus William Scull, albeit for a belt. I've already went over that. People think he shouldn't even be a champion right now. And then guys like Marquez is saying, I don't even know who this guy is. I've never even heard of him. So it becomes particularly embarrassing to me as a sport when Canelo could have fought Jake Paul or whoever, even if it was William Scull, and did with his fans in Vegas that are willing to travel maybe just to see Canelo, and the ticket prices given the William Scull name would have to be probably a bit more reasonable than a Jake Paul fight. Either way, it would have added to the health of wherever Canelo decided to fight in America, where he's been branded, right? The other thing, and I'll have to make a separate video, I've told you guys for years that belts really don't matter in this age. And each person or each fighter's path to undisputed, they are not made equal. You have guys like Inoue who's fighting Paul Butler to become undisputed. Crawford fought one person to become undisputed a second time. He fought undisputed with Julius Ndongo, right? And then you got a guy like Alexander Usyk who has to move from cruiserweight, where he was undisputed, and he has to fight these big gargantuan heavyweight like Tyson Fury. He has to beat Tyson Fury, who's like 6'9" and almost 300 pounds. He got to beat a power punching Joshua, who is 6'6" and brolic and, you know, has a lot of power. He got to beat Daniel Dubois, who's like 6'4", 6'5", brolic with a lot of power. He has to beat Derek Chisora, who just beat Otto Vailene and beat Joe Joyce after the fact. So clearly he still has some fight left in him. You know, Usyk did that in his second fight. So Usyk is fighting on all these heavyweights, and he had to do all that to become undisputed. But, you know, they're trying to set this up, and Turkey and Riyadh season think this is an amazing deal that Canelo could try to, you know, beat William Scull, a fight no one wants. Then he'll become 2X undisputed. And then they think magically people are going to be sold like, oh, Crawford and Canelo is for undisputed. The only people that you can bamboozle with that are the people who don't really follow boxing, like super casual. Yeah, like you could say in the history book, it'll be written as such. But to me, that's a chintzy way to try to make history, right? It's like, here's an example. It's like Devin Haney is an undefeated fighter. He truly is. However, in the minds of people in the know, many people are not viewing Devin Haney and Floyd Mayweather as the same undefeated fighter, or Usyk or Crawford and Devin Haney as the same undefeated fighter when we watch Ryan Garcia, who looked half trained, crash him and mollywop him. So again, from a technical standpoint, yeah, Devin Haney is he's undefeated, but in the minds of many, he's really not. And this is what you guys get hung up on. William Scull is the IBF champion, absolutely. However, if you watch this fight where he got the title, a lot of people thought it was a robbery. So yeah, technically he's a champion based on him having the belt. But we know there's politics like this that exist in the sport of boxing. Same thing with Crawford Canelo. They're selling it as like an undisputed fight if Canelo beats Scull. But this is not like, it's not as meaningful as others when you, like for example, Crawford. He moved to 154. His first fight because of Turkey was a title shot, right? And he fought Madrimov and beat him, became a champion at 54. So he set that history. But what people don't know is Madrimov had only been a champion for 3 months or so, right? He had gotten the belt in March through a vacancy left by Jermell Charlo, and that's why Madrimov became a champion. So, yes, Crawford became a multiple weight champion by beating Madrimov, but a deeper dive, you understand how this is being set up. The promoters and organizers are still trying to sell you on the mere fact that, yeah, it's for a belt. That's why I say belts don't matter, because it's too much politics going on. You have Crawford beating Madrimov, he becomes a multiple division champion. This wasn't a proven long-standing champion. It was a guy with 11 fights and a guy who had been a champion for like 3-4 months. And this is what they're selling to you. You know what I mean? And the same goes for the William Scull fight. He barely even won his fight. And they're like, yes, this will make Canelo 2X undisputed. It's not a formidable name. How come Canelo didn't fight David Benavidez when he was the mandatory? How come he didn't fight Demetrius Andrade at 160 when Andrade was undefeated before Benavidez beat him, and Andrade was undefeated and was the last link to Canelo being undisputed at 160? Canelo could have been undisputed at 160 and 68, but he didn't want to go through Demetrius Andrade. He said, you're a horrible fighter and all that. Shout out to Marquez. We know what it is. Canelo talking about fighting Scull for undisputed, and they're trying to prop this up. Meanwhile, the rest of the boxing world is like, who is William Scull? Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.